Oh, there we go, there's the first fish. Oh, nice. So g'day folks, welcome to another PTP Fishing. Back at Lake Kurwongbah, haven't been here for, I reckon it'd be 5 or 6 weeks, maybe a little longer. Certainly have only been once since I did that SFT lures bit of a test. I guess the reason I haven't been here is the lake was fishing very much like a lot of southeast Queensland lakes do, where bass school up, go into big bunches, and for whatever reason I'm not very good at catching those fish, so I'd rather leave them alone, be less frustrated in my own fishing, and then when I think the fish are around the edges, then I'll come back out. So this video is about 12 months on from my first PTP fishing video at Kurwongbah, and I guess I wanted to do a little bit of a comparison. The drama is I got here at just after 6 this morning. The gates are meant to be open at 5:30. I'm on the water now at 7:15, and the gates still aren't open. Jenny in the call centre at SCQ Water, she was wonderful. Obviously the people she works with are less wonderful. So anyway, not to worry, I'm on the water now. It's going to be a bit of a short session, but hopefully as we go through this, I can explain you the differences 12 months on. Let's see how this goes. Welcome to another PTP Fishing. Oh, there we go, there's the first fish. Oh, nice. I think it's terribly big, but putting up a little bit of an account. Oi! There we go. Very nice. Might pop a net underneath him. Nice. First fish of the day. That's only a little fish, maybe 25. It's on the Obsession. Again, it's one of those new skirts. We're calling this one Gold Nuggets, so it's only about my 4th cast with Gold Nuggets, so I'm pretty happy with that. Get that hook out of him and let him go. There he is. He's a little bit bigger than I thought he was. He was actually 28. So pop him in, first fish of the day, away he goes. So let's get down to 12 months on and how Kurwongbah has changed. And I guess we'll talk about the obvious one is obviously this time last year I think the lake was sitting at between, I guess, 56 and 60%. Now it's definitely over 90%. How that's affected the fishing is, like I said, the winter bite, there was definitely the fish moved from the edges because the structure's gone from the edges. All the weed died, and yeah, now you've got some lily pads, and I'm hoping, I haven't been here for a little bit, but I'm hoping that some of these weed beds have grown back, because that's what attracts the fish back to the edges. So it'll be an interesting morning that way. But yeah, certainly the lake level is a big one, that, and obviously how much the weed, how much it comes back, where it comes back, because at 56% there was weed in areas that you just wouldn't expect it to be, and where you could find space between that weed is where you're getting fish. So we've got one for the morning. Let's see if we can get a few more. I always thought that these sinking stick baits, there was the opportunity for them was when I'm seeing fish like I'm seeing now. So seeing plenty of fish on the sounder. I've run spinnerbaits through them, but other than that first fish on a very early cast, there you go. So I'm assuming they're little fish, but this is exactly why I think this sinking. Oh, has he come off? No, he's still there. It's just a little fish. But yeah. So this is on that Fisher Swift from SFT. As I said in one of the videos, I had to go and buy some more because they just work so well. But that's what I'm seeing on the sounder, is little guys like that, and the reason I'm not getting them on a spinnerbait is because they're so small. So that's all right. You know, this is why we have so many different types of lures. Is they all have a purpose, all have a time and a place. So there's that guy there. Off he goes, and let's see if I can get a bigger one. So there's that Fisher Swift. It's one of the colours that I bought. Don't know what it is, bit of purple. Purple's my favourite colour, so it was first cast with that lure. So again, not the size that we're after, but in the end, it's nice to know what those fish are that are on the sounders. So and if there's bigger fish amongst them. So let's get that down there again. Pull this kayak around a bit while that's shimmering down. So while I'm paddling to the next spot, let's have a look at another comparison from this time last year to now. There's definitely a lot more anglers on the water, which is great. It's great to see. I think urban fisheries are meant to be exactly that. They're meant to be used. People are meant to use them, you know, and certainly the quality of the fishing that the lake has, you know, the efforts of the stocking group, as much as I don't agree with all of their philosophies, the efforts should be rewarded with anglers getting out there and catching fish. So it's a good fishery. So yeah, I think that's the other big difference, is there's a lot more people using the waterway, which is good. So let's have a look at some of the positives of all the changes that have happened. So I think with the lack of weed at the moment, I think there's every possibility of there being a surface bite. Not that I'm going to try that today, because getting on the water at the time that I did is mostly not surface bite time. Mind you, overcast like it is at the moment is mostly perfect surface bite time. But yeah, areas like where I'm sitting at the moment, you couldn't get in here this time last year. It was just weed to within a foot of the surface. Now you've got lily pads, and yes, there is some weed. I can feel it as I'm retrieving, but it's nowhere near as thick or as close to the surface as it was this time last year. So yeah, should these fish come to the edges, a bit of surface fishing at Lake Kurwongbah, I think that's something to try next time I'm on the water. So we'll do a bit of an update. I actually had a pretty good start. A couple of fish on the first bank that I went to. Ooh, there's a touch. And that's mostly the first bite I've had since, and it's been about 45 minutes. So there's something else that's going to be a little different to last year. I think it's going to be a little bit harder to find these fish. Just continue on with that update, it has been a little bit slow. And as I said, I think the fish are going to be a little bit harder to find, but you will have access to areas like I'm sitting in at the moment, which before would have been totally weeded up. So you would expect at some point these fish would move into these areas. So let's see what this next battery in the GoPro brings. Again, while we're doing comparisons, I think the one thing that's for certain is there's going to be a lot more water scares on the water this year. With the lake at above 90%, I think they have allowance for maximum number of boats, which means they're going to use it, and good on them for using it. Only thing I don't quite understand is we have to launch from one particular spot in the entire lake. It's gated, and if, like this morning, somebody doesn't come and unlock the gate, we can't get in. These guys, I've seen them launching from 3 different spots in the lake so far, so kind of look at that and say, well, how come they're allowed to do that and we're not? But anyway, I'm sure somebody else has asked that question and most probably got the wrong answer as well. But anyway, there you go. So there's no doubt at 90% or just over 90%, there's going to be a lot more scares on the water, which hopefully they're mindful of us, and we've certainly got to be very careful around them. There we go. So after all that, I come back to where I started. Oh. I get a fish. As much as the water scares are here, I've thought I'd just come here, and because they were here in good numbers this morning, I thought I'd roll a hard body through them. It's a little Rapala something or other, and it's done the job nicely. Nice if the scares went a little wider, wouldn't it? after another PTP fishing. Starting to get a little bit crowded on that point that I was sitting on. Wasn't too bad when I invited old mate over, but the fact that 2 other guys seem to think that they can just come over and butt in kind of annoys me. Anyway, not to worry. As you can see, the water skiers are throwing waves at us. Anyway, nice to know that there's still a few fish here. It is definitely going to fish a bit tougher. I think it's just one of those things where until these weed beds really establish themselves, these fish are going to be hiding in places that I just don't know just yet. I will figure it out though. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you've liked this video. If I can avoid going in the drink. That's it from PTP Fishing. Catch you next time. See ya.